Okay, here it is. My theories of Satan, Lucifer, Beelzebub, the Morning Star, all those names that you find and stuff like that describing the devil. Okay? And basically, let's go into the history of that. Okay? As an example, the word Satan. In the earliest Hebrew texts, Satan is a title. Okay? The accuser, your greatest adversary. So basically, anybody can be Satan. So technically, Satan in capital letters could be the greatest adversary of God. But the whole thing is, in the earliest texts of the Bible, there was no adversary. There was no other adversary of God himself. There was nothing. There was not even anyone close. Okay? Anyway. So there was no Satan. And Lucifer, okay, he's only mentioned once in the Bible. Once! In a bad translation. King James Bible, Isaiah 14:12. Okay? I believe. And basically he mentions Lucifer as the morning star, and that was a very bad translation on that. And the whole thing is anyway. But basically, Lucifer was a king of Babylon. In ancient times, was a king of Babylon who was against the Jewish people. He was trying to kill them off, like the Nazis. Everyone seems to be doing that. I don't know why. Why can't people just live and let live? That's my motto. Anyway, that's how we get it. Beelzebub is Lord of Flies, Lord of Flies, a king in Persia in ancient times. Not a lot on that. The spelling is really different. That's the only basically theories they have on that. Okay? And so actually, and you know what? There's an argument about that Jesus. Okay, what may have been involved in this, because the whole thing is in I believe it's in Revelations 22:14. 22:16. Sorry. He is he states in the Bible, it states with his own words that he is the morning star. Okay? The bringer of light. But isn't everyone thinking that Lucifer, the devil, Satan, is one of his names? So there is an argument there and stuff like that, that actual Jesus, and you gotta remember and stuff like that, okay? Lucifer, Satan, morning star, Beelzebub, these are all supposedly names of the devil, okay? So he has multiple names. Why not another name? Jesus. Well, wouldn't the whole thing is, think about it. Who would be the right hand of God? Okay, his closest, his number two, or his number one, second only to God himself. Well, his son. There's also another argument and stuff like that. If you look at, if you read the Old Testament and the New Testament, it's almost like reading two different people. In the Old Testament and stuff like that, It's fire and brimstone and stuff like that. If you don't do what the God says and stuff like that, I will kill you. I will smite you. Whereas in the New Testament, it's all about love. Interesting, isn't it? Okay? Interesting. I'm putting all these questions out there. And I'll get to a point. Maybe. I might actually even get to a point here. There's a lot of theories in here. Okay? And conflicts. Okay? It's like you read one part and it says one thing, you another part. It says the exact opposite. So the whole thing is if Jesus is the morning star, and well, the whole thing is it was a bad translation for Lucifer, the morning star, in King James. Okay, so we can almost literally take that out. Okay, but let's go to another point, totally different, similar topic, but in that area anyway. But let's just say, okay, Adam and Eve. Okay? Okay? And the Garden of Eden, they were kicked out. For what? For having knowledge. Free will. And who gave them that free will? The serpent. Okay? We assume that was Satan or the devil or Lucifer. But was it really? I don't think it doesn't actually state that in the Bible. Okay, it is called the serpent. But the whole thing is, what did the serpent do to Adam and Eve? It gave them free will to know what's good and bad. Okay? What is our most treasured thing right now and stuff like that? Okay? What do we treasure more than anything else right now? Okay? Our free will. Okay? So, aren't we technically fighting God because we want our free will? We fight wars over free will, our freedom. But the whole thing is that isn't that going against God? Because the whole thing is that he wanted to tell Adam and Eve forever what to do. Tell them what's good or bad. Okay? He didn't want Adam and Eve to make that decision. He wanted to do it for them. Almost like slaves. So why do we keep going with God and stuff like that? If the whole thing is that on one hand and stuff like that, he'll smite you if you don't follow his rules and stuff like that. But the whole thing is that he technically wants slaves. No free will involved. So the serpent, technically, why don't we worship the serpent? Because it gave us free will. Okay, free will. It gave us free will. Okay? And we treasure the free will almost more than anything else on the planet. Okay? Millions, hundreds of millions, maybe even billions of people over the eons have fought wars over that. I don't know. Don't know at all. So, but the whole thing is that in the earliest texts of the Hebrew texts and stuff like that, God was the judger. He was everything. He was both good and bad. He was neither good and bad because he made all the rules. So technically, if he made all of Eden, he made the tree of good and the tree of knowledge. Okay, and he made the serpent. How do we know the serpent was not God himself? He wanted an excuse to give free will to Adam and Eve. Maybe he was trying to give free will to them, but they want to follow him so much. So he had to trick them. Anyway, and the whole thing is, so technically, what I'm saying is, God could very well be both good and evil, and he could be his greatest foe, his adversary. He could be his own Satan. Okay? So Satan could be God, dual personalities, because take a look at the Old Testament and the New Testament. It's almost like a split personality of how we view God. Completely different. Or we could go with another theory of mine in all that, is that Jesus took over from God. And Jesus was all about love, thy human, and turning the other's cheek, and being meek. Okay? So, the whole thing is that if you're looking at that, okay, we're looking at the Old Testament where God was a pretty harsh God. And then in the New Testament, he turns into a nicer person. Hey, take a look in business. Who takes over the company? Your son. Usually your firstborn. As far as I know, God hasn't had any other sons. Just Jesus. So technically, and again, God is a title. Literally, God is a title. So basically, what I'm saying is that I think when Jesus got resurrected and went to heaven, he took over the job of God. As for Lucifer and Satan and all that and stuff like that, again, could very well be dual personalities. Okay, God has multiple personalities. Yeah, multiple personality order. Go figure. That theory is out there. Okay, Old Testament, a God of wrath. New Testament, a God of love. It's either multiple personalities or someone. Jesus took over the job of God. Those are my theories. I stated the facts, and those are my theories. Okay. Thanks. Bye.